Go on.
The thing.
Can you not stay silent for 5 seconds? Oh, I hate doing these. You ready?
Well, I don't know what's happening, so it's...
Well, we'll just do the intro now. I'm Harry.
I'm Zoe.
Let's ramble about theme parks on...
Coaster Bot Rambles.
So obviously I'm Coaster Bot and...
Obviously.
And people say that I know a lot of stuff. And this is somewhat true, but not true at the same time. Everything I make videos on, I just forget, like, the day after. So I have some knowledge. It's definitely not the most. But Zoe over here knows the basics. The basics, you know. She knows certain concepts that the average person wouldn't know, but above that, you don't really know that much. No.
By any means.
No. So I think this is going to be an interesting conversation where, you know, I know stuff, Zoe doesn't know much, so at least we'll have a perspective that you don't really get.
Outside of info.
Yeah, exactly. So on Twitter and YouTube, we asked a poll of what you want us to talk about in this secret project, as Zoe named it. And this secret project is a podcast. Fortunately for you guys who wanted a podcast.
Unfortunate for you who didn't want a podcast.
Well, yeah, but it's extra content in it, so you can't moan about extra content. But
no moaning.
Exactly. So, yeah, the topic was chosen to be Alton Towers. So we're going to talk about Alton Towers. We're going to do more than just that in this podcast. We're going to talk about a range of things, such as like theme park news. We're going to listen to your opinions on certain topics. And have a general poll that discusses everyone's opinion on a certain question related to the topic. And that pretty much sums up what's going to happen.
So, there was apparently
there was
might not have
apparently a
happened.
fire.
Conspiracy
All
theory.
of the photos, they were all,
They're
you know,
all
it was all done by Cedar Point, who just
Yeah.
wanted to make Europa Park look
it's
bad.
all a lie, don't listen
Yeah.
to anything.
No, so...
No, there was a fire.
Yeah.
In Europa Park.
Yeah.
This is all I know.
Yeah. So there was a fire at Europa Park in the Pirates of Batavia, the little Pirates of the Caribbean style ride that they've got.
Which looks great, by the way.
So the whole of that basically just burnt down, and all of quite a lot of the Scandinavia section also burnt down, which is a real shame because the Scandinavia section was quite a nice part of the park. It didn't have any rides in, but ultimately it was a well themed area. It was a nice place to walk through, but now it's all gone, completely gone. But the saving grace is that Europa Park said, well, they basically turned around like 2 days after and was like, okay, we're going to rebuild a new ride. We're going to...
Did they actually?
Yeah, they were like, we're going to rebuild a new ride, but we're going to keep the Pirates theme, and it's going to be in the Dutch section of the park. So...
Wait, but are they going to rebuild all the buildings and that?
I don't know whether they're going to rebuild everything to the same as it was. But it'll be interesting to see what they do actually do. Because hopefully, you know, with the chance like this, you get to modernise and make everything a bit more new. So hopefully the Pirates ride will be a bit more modern, a bit more interesting than just the kind of Pirates of the Caribbean style dark ride. Because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
At every park, there's so many of them. So yeah, let's hope it's something a bit more unique, and let's hope the Dutch theming is a bit more interesting and a bit more relevant.
You know, when they put in those mannequins where they move and stuff.
Yeah, it did.
Oh.
And there was just the metal wiring there.
Let's not do that again.
Yeah, I know. Like Pirates of the Caribbean style rides, I think are good, but I just get a little bit bored.
They're old now.
I just get a bit bored of them.
Yeah, but you think about like Ratatouille. You need to be on that level now.
Yeah, but people
You
don't like
can't just do a
Ratatouille
little
because
boat
it's all
ride.
screens. That's
Yeah,
what people
it's
say.
great.
It is pretty good. But yeah, let's hopefully it's something a bit more modern, a bit more up to date, and a bit more exciting. We'll see. And talking of Europa Park right now, Mr. Taylor Bybee and
He's literally there right now.
Taylor Bybee and Co. They're literally at Europa Park as we speak, probably in Food Loop as we speak. And in how many days' time? 5 days' time. I will be meeting as of recording. I will be meeting Mr. Taylor Bybee, Mr. Logan of Coaster Kids and his dad, and Chad as well from Ohio Valley Coasters. So it's going to be pretty weird to meet those guys, especially, you know, I haven't met them in real life before, and spoken to them quite a lot online though. Obviously I make videos with Taylor, so Yeah, it's going to be quite surreal to finally meet him and go to some theme parks with him. So we're heading to, I mean, if you want to see their full kind of what parks they hit and when, because it might be over by the time this goes out, but if you go to coastertrip.com, you'll find every single theme park they're going to. The ones I'm going to with them are Wallaby Holland, Heidi Park, Hansa Park, and then Alton Towers, Thorpe Park, and Blackpool Pleasure Beach. So there's quite a mixture there, 3 UK parks and then 1 park from the Netherlands and 2 from Germany. So it's going to be quite an exciting trip, especially...
It's a crazy trip.
Yeah, well, especially for them, doing a park every day, basically, or more. It averages out at 21 parks in 21 days. So I don't know how you do that, but they're doing it. So mental trip for them. It's going to be quite interesting for me to finally get on some new stuff and try out some new parks, especially some of the German parks. I mean, Hansa Park is I think a park that isn't really talked about that often, but it has some very interesting Gerstlauer rides, and we all know that people love Gerstlauer rides. Well, certain members don't like Gerstlauer rides, but I love Gerstlauer rides, so I can't wait to get on the likes of Karnen and Fulkevon Novgorod. It's going to be a very exciting trip, and lots of content coming out with vlogs and all that with the boys and with people that we meet along the way. So there's a lot to look forward to. I can't wait to finally be in some of their videos and, vlog bomb their stuff and just act crazy in their videos like I usually do. Very excited for that. It's going to be quite an interesting time. You're coming, aren't you?
Yeah, might do. Might rock up.
To which ones?
Just the UK ones.
Get a new park for you as well?
Yeah, Blackpool. I've been to Blackpool. Back when I didn't ride anything.
What, inside the actual park, or?
I think we went in, because we went on...
It was free to go in back in the
They
day.
had, the arcadey bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went there, and then we went on some of the flat stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like the spinny ones where you just get sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went on that. Nearly died.
And I'll be interested to see what you think about it, because...
Well, I think I'm going to like Icon.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's about it.
Yeah, but people are saying that the park's better than Thorpe Park right now, and I kind of agree.
Well, anything is.
Yeah, so, but it's very different. It's not really a theme park at all. It's more of just a mass collection of rides all jammed in next to each other.
Mm.
But some people like that kind of stuff, and Icon is fantastic. Finally, Blackpool has a roller coaster that it can actually talk about, because the others are... but...
acceptable.
Yeah, they're alright. It's just none of the coasters at Blackpool are particularly fantastic, but Icon is. So finally that park has a steel coaster that's actually good. Probably get shot for saying that. But yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see what the Americans think of all the UK parks, and it'll be interesting to first hear their opinions firsthand on what they think of Europe in general. I've been hearing some stuff down the grapevine from them as they go along the different parks, but I imagine that they'll be posting content as soon as they get back. A lot of it.
They need to ride them all before they can make up their minds.
Yeah. I can imagine several lists coming out of what they thought were the best rides. And
it's going to change though.
yeah, definitely.
What do I know about Alton Towers?
Yeah.
I know that I've been there about 100 times.
It's not true, is it?
Is what I know.
I might have been there 100 times, but you haven't.
I don't know. Don't know when it opened. Don't know how it opened. It used to be a garden. That's something I know.
Yep.
It opened a while ago.
Really? A while ago?
Say, let me guess.
Go on.
Let me guess the year.
Yep.
Okay. 64.
No. Like, it was kind of an amusement park before it opened officially as a...
Wait, are we counting it as like when the roller coaster opened? The first roller coaster?
Yeah, so it was basically like a fairground up
Okay.
until a certain point, and then at this point it became an amusement park / theme park.
Okay.
And that point was when, the corkscrew in the plaza,
Yeah.
when
Okay.
that was put into the park.
Okay.
And that was...
Let me say that was 80s then.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was 1980.
Okay.
So, on a park scale, Alton Towers is relatively new.
Yeah.
Ish. Relatively new-ish.
The grounds aren't though.
Yeah, no, the grounds they've been used for ages. They've been used basically like most of the late 1900s.
Yeah.
So...
Wait, so it started with corkscrew.
Mhm. Then they basically got a whole range of other kind of smaller rides that were just kind of semi-permanent. Yeah, to fill it out. But then the second big roller coaster that came in was Nemesis.
Was it?
Yeah.
Why did I not
big
know
scale.
that?
Like big scale
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. And since Nemesis, we've had a lot more additions that have been permanent and not kind of removed. There were a lot more additions. Like you had the likes of the Black Hole and the Beast, which were two of these Schwarzkopf Jetstar coasters, which just kind of like travelling compact rides basically.
Okay.
And Towers had two of them, and they were
And then they just got
nearly
shipped
identical.
off.
Well, yeah, they just closed them because
Yeah.
they weren't permanent additions. They were never. The Black Hole was kind of permanent, but it got outdated by the time it went in like 2005. So the ones after the Corkscrew, the main additions, were Nemesis in '94, Oblivion in '98, and now Galactica in 2002, Return in 2005, 13 in 2010, The Smiler in 2013, and then Wicker Man, new for this year, in 2018.
Obviously, your fave is the Smiler.
Mm-hmm. So far.
I
Probably.
can't imagine it not being.
And not for
your
long.
favourite.
In
What world would that be?
a world that you're going to have to live with in
that's
8
not
days'
really-
time. What's the one that's going to beat it?
Yeah.
Carnan. At that Gerstlauer Park.
So it's
Hansa
the
Park.
same thing but better.
It's, ish. It doesn't have as many inversions. It's more focused on
I
speed,
remember you saying.
height, and intensity.
But the Smiler's all about the lots of loops and.
Yeah, but it doesn't make loops. Don't make a
that's
good
what
ride.
I like about it.
Yeah, it's good, but Carnan just looks like a whole another level.
That's exciting.
Yeah. My favourite ride is the Smiler at Alton Towers, and a lot of people prefer, the likes of Nemesis. What about you?
No, don't like Nemesis. Never liked Nemesis.
Why?
Can't be doing with that. Because, first of all, I just don't like the car. Did you say cars? I don't know what you said.
Yeah, cars, trains.
Yeah. So that really annoys me because you can't really see anything,
Uh-huh.
And then it's just like, you know how I hate force?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. You know how I hate roller coasters?
Yeah.
No, I don't like the force of it, and it just annoys me. It's that I don't know why everyone loves it so much. I think because it's just so old, I guess.
It's very well designed.
I'd rather go on Galactica than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it's so chill. You just sit back. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree that I don't think Nemesis, for me, Nemesis isn't the best, but then I can put my biases to the side and then look at it as a ride.
Yeah, I
and I
appreciate
can know
it.
that it's very good.
I appreciate it. It's just not my thing.
No, it's definitely not my thing.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm a fan of inverted coasters at all.
Yeah.
Just the style and the seating is just not for me.
It just feels like a very... Like, if I think about a roller coaster, that's what comes to my head of, like, a stereotypical good roller coaster, done, boring, just make it more interesting.
So then what's your favourite?
Depends. The Smiler, which I used to hate,
Yeah.
so it grew on me, and
Yeah.
it's still growing
That's
on me.
typical Gerstlauer, that is. I think
Yeah.
the more you ride them, the better they get.
Because I remember when I went on it first and I cried, and then
Yeah, you hated it.
you were like, no, do it again. And I was like, I will kill you if you make me go on it again. And then now, like, when all my friends go and I'm like, go on the Smiler, and they're like, no. And I'm like, seriously, go on the Smiler 5 times in a row.
It's good.
And they don't want to do it. And I'm like, you don't know what you're missing.
Mm.
So, the Smiler. And then I do like Galactica. I never went on it when it was air, so...
It's the same.
The VR, yeah, but the VR just... I can't be able to faff around with the VR.
No. Yeah, but if you ride it without VR,
That's what I
it
mean,
is
but
air.
everybody else is faffing about with the
Yeah,
VR. Like, can we
relatively.
just go now? But yeah, I like that one. That's a really chill one.
Mm-hmm.
What else is there? 13's okay.
It's a very good family coaster.
Yeah,
really
yeah.
gets the job done.
Yeah. Rita, I'm not a fan of
That's fair enough.
because it's forceful.
Yeah.
And it kills my head. I also like Oblivion. But then again, I'd say the one in Garland's better.
Oblivion the Black Hole.
Because
Well,
you
yeah.
actually ride a ride at the end of the day.
Oblivion's, first of its kind. It's just basically the drop and that's it.
It's good.
But saying
it's
that,
not long enough.
I've heard quite a lot of people say that Oblivion's drop is the best on any dive coaster.
Oh yeah.
Just because it's so different.
Well, the drop is great, but I just want them to add a ride.
Yeah. It is a shame that it doesn't have anything else, but...
I don't know why that happened.
Like what?
Why they didn't just build a ride?
Because it costs so much to...
Yeah, but like...
It costs so much to dig a hole
Yeah, true.
that's like 35 metres underground.
True.
That's why. And it was the first of its kind, so they had to invent all the tech. That's why it costs so much.
I'll let them off.
That's why 13 costs so much as well.
Yeah.
Because they invented
That's worth it though.
the vertical drop thing.
That was worth it.
Yeah. But then you're forgetting Wicker Man.
Oh my god. I actually genuinely forgot that even existed.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Wicker Man is
Wow.
unlike anything at that
No,
park.
Wicker Man isn't even like in the running.
Honestly,
for that.
I think Wicker Man's a whole nother level. Overall, I think it's so much better than every other ride at that park in terms of roller coasters.
Have I been on it in the day yet?
No.
No. So at night, it's like insane.
Yeah.
During the day, I think it'd be less insane.
Yeah, no.
But it'd be amazing.
It's
But,
still
like,
very good.
The whole like thing of that night was like crazy.
And you're referencing the
precedent. Is that what it's called? The
Yeah.
precedent. Insane.
Yeah, it is a solid ride, and at the end of the day, it is a family coaster, but it doesn't feel like a family coaster at all.
No.
It's
No way would I have gone on that as a kid.
no, but it is designed to be
But
a
you
family
could.
coaster.
Like, obviously, I wouldn't because I was a scaredy cat, but
But allegedly,
Mental.
they turned around to the manufacturer and was like, "Can we have a tamer version, please?" And that was what they got.
oh my god.
Yeah.
So
So,
it would have been worse.
oh yeah, no, they are.
Oh, that's funny.
Even then, Wicker Man still has the same peak force levels as the other types.
Yeah.
So,
Oh mate.
so the other ones are just Wicker Man, all of Wicker Man's strongest points,
Yeah.
but more of them.
Wow.
Yeah, but Wicker Man is.
It's all about the theming, though. Isn't
But
it?
yeah, this is
be
it.
honest.
Wicker Man is one of the best themed wooden coasters in the world.
Yeah. If not the best.
Yeah, if not the best. And that's really what makes it. The whole atmosphere and the whole area of Wicker Man, I think, is as I said, a whole nother level of
Yeah.
Alton Towers. Alton Towers have been good at theming in the past, but they never seem to be able to finish things off to a high standard. They always
Which
forgot
you
about
love
something,
that.
which I love that. And which, bless them, Thorpe Park, they can do
try.
that. No, they can do that. Like
They
the Swarm,
try.
the Swarm was done to a really high
Oh
standard.
yeah, this one.
Darren Brown's Ghost Train, that theming in the
Yeah.
whole of it was
Oh,
done
yeah.
really well. And
Yeah,
Towers,
but they lack in the actual ride as well.
Yeah, well.
So it's like you can't have just good theming.
No,
or
no,
good
no.
ride.
but the Towers could never really match that.
Yeah.
But with Wicker Man, it was like just
They're
toss
like,
Thorpe
"Oh,
Park
yeah,
aside.
We can do that.
We
too."
could do this, but with a more unique theme and to a better standard. And
Yeah.
Wicker Man, ultimately, Towers are always very good at making themes that are very unique and very different
Yeah.
to everything else. And Wicker Man and the Smiler are two very good examples of that. And you won't find anything like them
Yeah.
around the world. Like most wooden coasters just go for this kind of like Nordic theme,
Yeah.
where they have like gods and all that kind of stuff. But then Wicker Man's about this Wicker Man,
Insane. I
you're
have
being
to say-
sacrificed.
When you were watching it being built and all the hype, and I was like, "What are you doing with your life? Why are you watching this thing being built?" And then they revealed the theme of it, and I was like, "Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing."
No, it is a very good theme. They've done a very good job, especially for the UK's first wooden coaster in
Yeah.
a long time. Hopefully that'll win. I mean, I think.
Well, now everybody's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, wooden coasters are great," instead of like, "Ugh."
Well, this is it. I think it's already started to win the
Yeah.
opinions of
Well,
the
it's
public.
winning me over.
Yeah. So new generation wooden coasters are great, and hopefully we see a lot more.
Not the old ones.
No, well, they don't
Not
really
very
get built like that
good.
anymore. But yeah, hopefully we see more wooden coasters in the UK.
Yeah.
Even at Merlin Parks, hopefully Thorpe Park get one in the future. Maybe even Blackpool get a new wooden coaster. I think that will really add to their lineup.
Yeah.
Other parks like
Stick
Flamingo
one
Land,
in Chessington. Why not?
a family woody.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done that before
Yeah.
at other parks. But yeah, Wicker Man, I think that's my second favourite of the park. It might.
You know what? I think it's my first.
Yeah.
I forgot about it.
This is it. The more I go to Alton Towers, the more what I like
the
to.
less you like this one.
Well, this is it. What I like to call, well, in my mind, I like to call the Nemesis effect, which I've been on Nemesis so many times
Yeah, I know what you mean.
that I actually don't care about riding it
Yeah.
when I go to Alton Towers.
Yeah. Even though there's no queue.
Yeah.
You're still like,
Yeah.
nah.
I've done it.
Yeah.
And obviously this is after like 70, 80 rides on it now for me.
Yeah, not good.
Which some people wouldn't class as a lot, but it is generally quite a lot. But then, yeah, the Smiler, it is still a really solid ride for me, but I don't think I have to sit in the front for it to be the best still.
Though, it's hard because you've already ridden it for so many more times than you've ridden Wicker Man.
Yeah.
So it's like, imagine if you could pause your Smiler and get up to speed with the Wicker Man and then have like an equal comparison.
Yeah. Well, I'm up to like 12 rides
That's
on
why
Wicker
it's
Man.
not. That's why I think rating rides is so hard, because it's like,
It is.
how can you even rate them?
You can't. You end up always rating things that aren't.
You just rate things you like right now.
Yeah, but you always rate ones that you don't get to go to very often higher.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you look at,
they're more exciting.
if you look at my top 3, it's the Smiler, Woden, and Silver Star. Woden and Silver Star at Europa Park.
Yeah, you
I've only been there once.
Twice, didn't you?
Woden 3 times, Silver Star twice.
Yeah.
So this is how hard it is, and when I go to all of these new parks, it'll be the same. And when we go to like Phantasialand, it'll be the same.
Oh yeah. Can't wait for time.
So yeah, it is very difficult to judge rides, especially the rides at your home park or parks that you visit very often.
Yeah.
And
because they're all like completely different, I think we should rate them in terms of like this type of ride and this type of ride.
I get what you mean.
Because how can you compare? That's so silly.
Because people like to.
Yeah,
But then people like different stuff.
It's painful. Why are you putting yourself in this pain?
Yeah, as I was saying, people like different types of rides. I really like GCIs, like Wicker Man, and I really like sit down multi-loopers, like the Smiler. But I'm not a huge fan of inverts. So
flying coasters all the way, mate.
You know, flying coasters get a lot more intense than Galactica.
Yeah, but they're good.
No, but Galactica.
But they're good. Yeah, but Galactica's like different though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's meant to be like that.
Yeah. Galactica is different.
It's meant to be like you're just having a chill flight.
It is. Yeah, no, they've done a good job. But
Online, Alton Towers doing well. Good job.
yeah, kind of. I mean, with all the, I think Alton Towers, I think people find it very easy to forget that Alton Towers had the accident only 3 years ago, and that when you lose 25% of your attendance.
I don't think people have forgotten that.
No, people have forgotten, definitely.
No.
Yeah.
Enthusiasts have forgotten.
No.
The general public.
No, the general public forget very quickly. Anything.
No.
Can you remember anything from the news 6 months ago? No. Exactly.
No, but when I say to somebody, "Oh, I'm going to Alton Towers," right? Even now they go, "Isn't that the one with the Smiler crash?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but it wasn't really."
Yeah.
A crash there, was
Yeah.
it?"
I get.
They don't understand it at all. They never understood it in the first place.
Yeah,
I
only
understood it because you explained to me that it wasn't actually their fault. Like, it wasn't the ride's fault.
No, yeah. That's what you're trying to get at.
Yeah, it wasn't the ride's fault. Nobody understands that because the media was, like, not portraying it properly.
Well, yeah, and it wasn't explained.
Yeah, which
very
makes
well.
it worse to them. Which means they're all like, I'm never going to ride the Smiler ever.
No.
But it's like, any roller coaster could do that.
But I do think the majority of people, or the majority of the general public, actually have forgotten.
Yeah, maybe I just have scared friends.
Yeah. But I think everyone finds it too easy.
They made a good comeback from it.
Yeah, everyone finds it too easy to forget that it happened. They lost 25% of their attendance. That's more than 25% of their profits, really. And losing, like 30, 40% of your income is going to hit hard on any theme park.
Yeah.
Like, if that wasn't part of Merlin, it could have closed down, kind of thing. So, what we're seeing, or what we have seen in the years after, is quite fortunate.
A lot of hard work.
It is. And I think we have to be patient with all of the cutbacks that the park has been having recently, and all of the slower and compacter operating hours, like 10 till 4 instead of 10 till 5. Hopefully...
Just let them do it.
Yeah. Hopefully with Wicker Man, next year we'll see an increased budget because they're getting more visitors and more income. And then we could see everything slowly return back to normal. And hopefully when it does so, we can see other parks other parts of the park get more investment and get the investment that it actually needs, like Cloud Cuckoo Land, which is in a terrible state right now, like
I think
really
they know
bad.
that, though.
Yes.
It's all good.
Yeah.
They're on it.
Hopefully. There's only a few areas of
They're
the park
making
that I
a
don't
new
really
thing,
like.
aren't they? With the weird theme I don't like.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Don't like that. What was it? David Williams' book or something?
Yeah, one of his
Ridiculous.
children's books. I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah.
Some sort of dark ride.
Come on.
Yeah, but I think there's only a few areas of the park that are bad, and one of them being Cloud Cuckoo Land,
Yeah.
and the other, for me, being the Dark Forest.
I don't mind that though.
No, I just hate Rita.
I know you hate Rita.
Rita's ugly. It looks stupid. Look, the
It's literally fine.
the thing is,
you being polite.
every roller coaster, or every big roller coaster, Alton Towers, looks planned. You look at it and you go, it was meant to be there.
Yeah.
It was designed like that. Rita, you look at it and go, why is it in my
Who
face?
chucked this here?
Yeah, it literally is.
I know what you mean.
It's
yeah.
one of the coasters at Alton Towers. It doesn't fit, and then it doesn't fit the theme.
But didn't they just put it in randomly?
Yeah.
So that's why then.
It was meant to go to a different theme park,
Yeah.
and then Alton Towers bought it.
Lovely.
But Alton Towers were undergoing a change of ownership at that time,
Okay.
so that's why it wasn't properly as good as the one before or the one after.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love for them to rip Rita out, to flatten all of the Dark Forest but 13, start again, because it's just so, it feels very closed in.
Yeah, I know.
Like the Wicker Man area, open, the whole plaza, really nice, really open. You can see a lot. It doesn't feel like too contained.
It's because normally they try and plan the space out so that
Yeah.
it's kind of the crowd like flows through it well, whereas that's kind of like they just ended up with that pathway.
But if you blitzed all of it, you'd have this massive open space.
What, even 13?
No, not 13. That's 13's fine.
Oh, I see what you mean. So
Blitz
that'd be the Rita,
everything.
where the Rita queue, the front of the
Where
queue
Rita is,
yeah.
where its queue is, all of the shops along the side,
Yeah.
blitz them all because they're all bad, right? And then start making the Dark Forest theme properly. You know, my ideal would be blitz Rita and then get an Intamin multi-launch, something like Icon, but more intense and faster. Put that there as the park's new launch coaster, and then you've got all of this space to use. Have it interact with 13, you know, have it be interesting, and then you could still have this massive open plaza for it and this massive open area, and it'll all look much nicer, and you get a better ride from it.
Okay, so we asked everybody on Twitter to send in some questions for Harry about the theme. So, and he's already answered some of them by accident. So somebody called Luke, I'm guessing, says, "Can you give very detailed information about the Smiler incident?"
No.
No comment.
Really, because the thing is, I've thought about making a video about the whole Smiler crash and explaining it in detail, right? But it was in the past. It's happened.
Yeah.
It'll cause more damage to bring it up than it would be to just leave it alone, and that's why I'm not going to answer it now.
Okay. Brilliant. Fidel asks, "What defunct attraction do you miss the most?"
Not the corkscrew, because that was bad. The flume was alright, but it was pretty bad.
Oh, I love the flume.
Nah, it was bad for a log flume, really. What else is there?
Well, there's only flats that have got.
Oh, okay. Defunct right now. Oh, flats, yeah.
Yeah,
Ripsaw.
flats.
Yeah.
Oh, that was there, wasn't it?
Ripsaw. I like Ripsaw. That was really good.
Yeah.
There we go then. Easy.
Done. Ripsaw. Speaking of flat rides, Jasmine asks, "If Alton Towers could get any 3 types of flat rides, what would you choose?"
Oh, mate, this is easy.
You like this question.
Right, here we go. Gerstlauer Sky Roller, because they're great.
Wait, what's that?
It's
In English.
It's like a tower, right,
Yeah.
with spikes coming off.
Yeah.
And you sit in this little
And they
seat
spin and it
with
spins.
wings, with flaps, and it goes round, and you get to flap your
Oh,
wings
wow.
to try and spin yourself.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd have one of those.
Yeah.
I'd have an Intamin gyro swing,
Heard of
Maelstrom at
that. Oh yeah, good ride. Good ride.
Drea Manor.
Flip flop.
Or yeah.
That was better.
No, I wouldn't have flip
That
flop
was
though.
better, though.
I'd have a new gen Intamin gyro. There's one at Leesburg with lap bars,
Okay.
so I'd have that.
Ah, scary.
Yes, I'd have that. And then for the final one,
What about
Scream
the
and
one where
Swing?
it just swings?
Rush.
Yeah, you like those.
Screaming swings are pretty good. that could get in there.
Just get a massive one of them.
But the thing is, like, all of these wouldn't fit.
Yeah, true.
Only the Gashouse Sky roller could probably fit. That's the thing, because they all have to be below the tree line, and most of them take up a lot of space.
She's granted you this wish though, so...
Yeah, so I'd say those three. I would say those three.
Okay, someone said, imagine Thorpe Park and Alton Towers had to swap one of their roller coasters and give to the other. So which ones would you swap, and why?
Is this to try and better both parks? Or better the park?
This is whatever you want. This is your dream in the world.
See, you can just go completely unrealistic here and then, like, swap Rita for Stealth. Which would never happen, obviously.
That's the worst we've ever heard you say.
No, Stealth is good. Stealth is good. I'm just trying to think realistically.
Also, why would you swap Rita for Stealth?
Because they're both launch coasters.
Exactly.
I don't want two of them.
That's stupid.
Why?
No, but...
I want a better version of what we've got.
But Stealth is worse than Rita.
For you it is.
Yeah.
For me it's not.
Oh, mate. You're so funny because you're like, oh, this ride isn't long enough.
No, it's not.
Right? This ride isn't long enough. And then you're like, yeah, I love Stealth.
Yeah.
It's 5 seconds long.
Yeah, I wouldn't queue more than 15 minutes for it.
Okay. Yeah, but that would never happen at Alton Towers, would it?
But
okay,
no.
so that's your answer.
Realistically, no, because that's not realistic. Realistically,
we must be realistic.
see,
right?
Nemesis Inferno is boring.
Yeah.
Colossus is bad.
Oh, yeah.
Stealth is too big.
Yeah.
Saw doesn't make sense because we've already got Smiler.
Yeah.
It'd just be the Swarm,
Well.
which you swap with.
And that, my friends, is the right answer.
Then you just swap it with Rita to get rid of that.
Yeah, good choice. So Seth asks, what makes Alton Towers special?
The setting.
Really? Is that what you think?
Yeah. What other theme park has such a tranquil setting for it?
So if I asked you that about Thorpe Park, you'd be like, the setting, the
No.
island.
No.
So you just don't like the island?
No, it just... No, what's special about Alton Towers is the setting.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I'm saying...
But that doesn't carry on for any other park.
Yeah, but I'd say that the island is more special.
No, it's not. Doesn't matter if it's on an island or
Chill
not.
out, mate.
Like, who cares?
No, but it's more unique.
No.
Okay.
No. Alton Towers, right? The setting, as in the fact that you're sitting at the end of Tower Street, you can see one roller coaster. That park's got 10.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Right? 10. And you can see one of them. What other park in the world has that? This is it. It's such a weird park because most areas of the park is very quiet, very tranquil, and it doesn't feel like a theme park.
It's like a secret garden.
Yeah. And that's it. Not many parks are like that. Yeah, most parks don't have the ruins that is the Towers. They don't have anything real like that. Towers has got that. It's such a nice place to be. It's full of trees, you know. If you don't like rides, there's something to do at Towers. You could go in the gardens.
That was me.
You could go in the Towers.
Yeah.
There's just a lot to do, and that's what makes it special.
Jack asks, which direction do you think Alton Towers will go in the long term? So, like, long-term plans that they have.
So, long-term plan-wise, I only really hope for a few things, and that's to completely redo the whole of Cloud Cuckoo and get some sort of children or family dart ride going in there. Something
Which they've
big.
already said they're doing, right?
Well, they haven't explicitly said.
Okay.
We've heard that they apparently are doing it.
I mean, that's the only thing they could do, really, isn't it? It makes sense.
So yeah, I want that to happen. Then I'd like to see Rita disappear at some point.
Yeah.
And Dark Forest to be upgraded. But at the same time, which is quite unrealistic, I'd like to see Towers kind of look at all of the different areas of the park and try and improve them, theming-wise. I'd like them to look at X Sector and go, alright, the Smiler looks complete garbage right now. Let's try and fix that. Let's add some...
just touch-ups.
Touch up everything.
Yeah.
Everything that's bad. I'd love to see that.
Like they did with Nemesis just now.
Yeah, but on a grander scale.
Yeah.
Like actual proper full areas, not just rides, but full areas. But and add things. Don't fix, but add.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously
think
fix
that's
and
what I
add.
want to ask, though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I don't think I'll be doing that. But
You can dream.
that's what I'd love to see them do in the long term. Focus on making sure the park is in the best possible state it is. And also not adding rides, but replacing them.
Yeah.
And the key to the best theme parks is that The best theme parks don't add new rides. They replace the bad ones, and the whole caliber of the park goes up.
Yeah.
And a good example of that is Phantasialand. All they do is they're such a small part. They just keep recycling things.
Yeah.
And Fly, I don't know what it got rid of. It got rid of some crap old rides, right? And by doing that, you just raise the caliber. So the
That's
lowest
like,
ride disappears, and you get a new good one.
That's like people who never clear out their wardrobe. They just buy new clothes, but then they just end up with loads of clothes, and half of them are rubbish.
Yeah, exactly.
And they never get rid of them.
So I'd love for Towers to follow that kind of idea, which is don't build new stuff. You've got your new stuff now. Replace.
Yeah.
Because then it saves on maintenance costs because you don't have as many rides, and it also just raises the minimum bar up.
Yeah. Peter asks, a lot of enthusiasts are wanting Alton Towers to be taken over by another company. Do you think this will be good for the park, or is it more of a case of better the devil you know? That's a good question.
It is a good question, and this kind of alludes to what I was talking about before, saying that Alton Towers isn't in the best state right now with all of the short times and the budget. Like, they've been given quite a small budget, and Merlin, for what they do, are quite focused around making money, and other companies aren't so much. But then I think Merlin are kind of rigid. You know what to expect. Other chains won't give you the same kind of expectation. You know, you look at Cedar Fair and you go, yeah, your big park, Cedar Point gets a new ride every 2 years. Doesn't need it, does get a new ride every 2 years. Valley Fair hasn't had anything in like 15 years. At least with Merlin, all of their big theme parks get something new every 4 years, something big every 4 years. We know that Merlin can do good stuff, because they have been doing good stuff, except for The Walking Dead: The Ride, and except for Thorpe Park in general. But that's Thorpe Park's fault. But we know that they can do good stuff, and I think, hopefully, over the next few years, hopefully Merlin themselves will be on the up. Towers is already on the up. So I kind of think we could just wait it out and hope for the best.
Give them some love, they're going to get better.
Yeah, I do think that's the case.
They're trying their hardest.
But if it did get taken out by another company, we just wouldn't know what would happen.
Yeah. It could be a lot worse.
It could be a lot worse, definitely.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
It could be horrendous.
I think it would be a lot worse.
Yeah.
Someone says, should Alton invest in more family rides or more thrill rides? You're going to say family.
Yeah. Family.
Cool bit.
The best theme parks in the world invest in family rides more than thrill rides.
Look at Wicker Man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's insane.
Yeah, but you look
That's not a family ride, but it is.
Yeah, this is it. Those kind of rides.
Yeah.
You look at the Efteling, you look at Europa Park, two very good theme parks that are continuously on the up. They always invest, well, most of the time they invest in family, and every other, very rarely it's thrill. If you look at the Efteling and Europa Park, both of them are, family orientated, and they're both on the up. And I think that's what it's all about. You invest mainly in family, and then every so often you invest in a thrill coaster to bring that kind of audience. And I think it should be the same thing with Towers. They've had Wicker Man. I think they should get another family thing, and then you can bring in another thrill coaster or replace a thrill coaster. So I kind of like them to see more investment into family, more around the 1.2 and less range.
Do you think Subterra will begin operating again? If not, what should replace it?
I'd like to see it operate again.
Surely it will operate again.
People have seen members of staff around it relatively recently.
Yeah. So, because it's been shut so long, when they reopen it, it'll be like a brand new thing.
Yeah. But they'll have to do a lot to fix it. This is it.
Yeah,
because it's been gone for so long. I don't know.
Didn't they shut it just because of, costs?
No.
Oh.
They were doing something, and then they tried to do it, and it didn't work.
What, they were renovating it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Then the Smile accident happened. They were like, nah.
Yeah, don't bother with that.
So, yeah, I'd like to see it reopen, but I think it'd be a lot of work to get it open. I think it was a good ride. It wasn't an amazing ride, but it was a dark ride that was something.
Yeah.
It was a drop tower at Alton Towers.
It's different.
So, I'd like to see it reopen, and I really don't know what could replace it.
Yeah, because the thing is, it fits well with that area as well.
Mhm.
The whole thing.
Yeah, it does. So let's hope that it opens at some point, maybe next year.
They couldn't get a flat ride in there, could they?
There used to be some sort
Oh,
of...
really?
Yeah, they could, if they tried.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's not very... The tree line isn't very high at that point.
Yeah.
So it couldn't go very high.
Every episode we're going to have a different poll based on the topic. And the results are in for the first one, which was... Which secret weapon coaster at Alton Towers do you think will be removed first? And you all picked Galactica, which got 51% of votes, which is pretty good. Oblivion got 38, and then Nemesis came in with 11, so clearly everyone loves Nemesis. And then we asked for your opinions as to why, and obviously we got a lot of Galactica support.
It's not really support.
No, not Galactica support. Galactica criticism. Springy Tales said, Galactica can go tomorrow as far as I'm concerned. How do you feel about that?
Fair enough.
I mean, it's your opinion. Sam said, Galactica because it's least integrated into the landscape.
This is true.
Oblivion is so structurally unique. Fancy filling in a 120 foot hole in one, and too close to the park edge to be replaced by anything bigger. Nemesis is too iconic, and near irreplaceable. Galactica won't go soon though. Yeah, that's a fair point. Christopher said, Galactica maintenance requirements are greater than Nemesis or Oblivion, and it would be the easiest to remove, and then reuse the site. Also, it's not as iconic amongst the public as Nemesis and Oblivion are. People are loving the iconic puns.
They are. Such a bad pun. No, but it is true though. I think Galactica is easily...
Definitely.
Most easiest to remove.
Yeah.
It's the most easy to replace. That plot of land is something that you could
Ready
put quite a
to
lot
go.
there. It is ready to go. The Nemesis has a big hole. You know, you'd have to design a ride around that, and obviously Oblivion has an even bigger hole.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Oblivion you can pretty much never replace.
When that's ready to go, they'll probably just rip the ride out.
Wouldn't they just dig it out completely?
Well, they'll just rip the ride out, cover over the hole, and then do something else. That's
Fill
actually
the
what
hole
they're
in.
not going to fill it in. They'll just cover the
they
ends.
might use it again.
Well, yeah,
Who knows?
they could.
Galactica because they already tried to improve it with VR. Oblivion didn't need it, and neither did Nemesis.
Yeah.
Controversial opinion.
The thing is, it seems like all the B&Ms at Alton Towers don't actually ever get queues. Like, Galactica only gets queues because of the VR. Prior to it becoming Galactica, it was at 5-10 minutes like Nemesis and Oblivion were. They're all the same. So, I think the VR is what has made it more popular. But as soon as the VR goes, it'll return back to its state of not being that popular. Just like the others. And it's the easiest to remove again, so...
Yeah. Galactica as Nemesis is too iconic and has been recently refurbished to basically new condition, that's a fair point. To be removed, and Oblivion is so integrated with the landscape it'd be almost impossible to replace, and the whole would be made redundant. Although in my opinion, out of the large rides there, it'd probably be Rita first to go, as it's rough and not aged well, and it's incredibly unreliable, so I imagine maintenance costs are high for it.
It's not that
A lot
rough.
of people did say Rita needs to go.
Well, yeah, I agree, obviously, but Rita isn't one of the secret weapons.
Yeah.
That's what we were looking
Not the
for.
question, guys.
Rita's too an easy answer. That's why we didn't ask it.
Yeah. Jamie said, I can just see Oblivion being ripped out for the sake of it and having nothing to replace it. Galactica has just been rethemed, so I can't see that happening.
Yeah, as other people have said,
For the sake of it, though? Why would they do that?
they'll remove it because they can and then build something somewhere else. That I could see that happening. Not necessarily building on the same site, but still taking it out because
What would
it's
be
old.
there, though?
I don't know. But his point about Galactica, I think it is true. I don't think we'll see Galactica go any time in the next 2-3 years. But I don't think that's the kind of scale that we're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking literally whenever it happens.
In 8 years'
which is gonna be
time,
the
I
next
think it's
one.
more of a realistic idea.
Yeah. Someone else said, Oblivion, the only real merit it has is being the first dive coaster. It just doesn't offer enough in terms of layout.
It's true, but it still packs a punch for it being what it is. The drop is still one of the best of the dive coasters. And I don't think it's a bad ride at all. Still does the job.
I mean, though, it is still like it's just a drop.
It's very short, but it gets the job done. It's just something like stealth, isn't it?
Yeah.
A short burst of adrenaline, and then that's it.
Somebody who actually wanted Nemesis to be removed, Luca said, could see Nemesis removed and then fully retracked with new trains and ride system.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Nemesis is such an icon at Towers now that Towers won't actually remove it. If we look at what the Efteling did with Python, which is their first roller coaster, they didn't take it out, even though it was an old ride that people didn't really like. They retracked it, updated it, and now their icon is still a ride that people ride today. And I think they'll do the same with Nemesis. When it gets to the point where the maintenance is too much and it just doesn't really work anymore, they'll get a new track, new trains, overhaul the whole thing, and it'll be in a brand new version of what it was before.
I think that's so weird.
No, it's just the park wants to hold on to its
so
heritage. It wants to keep the ride that everyone knows.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. It's the right. Nemesis is the ride that made Alton Towers.
Can't get rid of that.
No, exactly. You can't. And then you just stop plugging.
Plug.
And go
Plug.
Did you want to say thanks for listening?
Nah, don't care. No thanks for listening. Don't care if you listen. Yeah, so congrats if you made it to the end of the podcast. Well done. Thanks for listening.
Wasn't that bad.
Appreciated it.
People watch the streams, they can listen to this however long it is. To sum it all up, you can find
some social media.
Yeah, to sum it all up, social media wise, you'll be able to find the first episode. Well, you might even be listening to the first episode on the main Coasterbot channel. But all of the podcasts, if you want to watch them on YouTube, will go up onto the Coasterbot Rambles YouTube channel, which will have a link in the description if you're watching on YouTube now. Or if you're listening, again, we'll put a link somewhere in the description of the podcast. You'll also be able to find all of the polls and Twitter stuff on at CBR Podcast on Twitter.
Get on there, give us some opinions.
So if you want your opinions to be included in the podcast, and you want to be active on the polls, and you want to be able to choose what kind of topics we talk about, then definitely follow that account. Also follow my main Twitter account at Coasterbot, just for general podcast related stuff as well, maybe.
Don't follow me because I never tweet.
Yeah. And you can also listen to the podcast on SoundCloud. We're going to try and get onto...
They'll all be on there. That's our main thing.
Yeah, we're going to try and get onto some of the podcast sites like iTunes and stuff like that.
We'll be on there soon.
We'll be on there soon. And when I get a website up, we'll also have a proper dedicated page for the podcast on a website. But that'll be something we do later.
Yeah. So many ways to find us.
Many ways to find us. All put down below, hopefully. Somehow.
We'll work it out.
We will. If you have any suggestions or improvements or things you'd like to see on the podcast, please do let us know, as we're always wanting to improve stuff and make it better. Just to say, all of these opinions in the podcast are obviously our opinions, and, you've seen the channel before probably. You know how all this works.
Harry has a lot of opinions.
They're all my opinions, Go out to these parks, formulate your own opinions, have a think yourself, watch different people's opinions and take different aspects of them. Don't just copy other people's opinions, because that's boring.
Be you.
Be you. Be yourself. Let us know what you think.
We'd love to hear what you think. We'd love to have an argument with you about what's right, what's wrong, what we like, what we don't like.
Exactly.
It's all good fun, and the more opinions, the better.
Definitely.